travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabocha, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. I hope you're good this morning. Thank you for allowing us to be your companion, because we love it. It's Friday, and every Friday we do Gratitude Friday. You can call us and tell us what you are grateful for this week. The number to dial is 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Tomorrow is Radio 702's 45th birthday. How exciting. Talk Radio 702 was founded on June 28th in 1980 as a young adult music station and later transitioned to a talk format in 1988. So, in fact, 702 is the bedrock for which Prime Media as a business stands. So I'm really proud to be part of a station that has been the leading talk radio station for so long. How long have you been listening to the station? Did you listen from the early days of its establishment? Please share your stories with us about Talk Radio 702. Now, will President Cyril Ramaphosa respond to the DA's ultimatum to fire compromised ministers in his cabinet within 48 hours or face consequences? Because that's the ultimatum. And what do you think the DA should do if the president doesn't act on the ministers? I mean, the DA has made this ultimatum to the president after he fired the Trade and Industry Minister, Andrew Whitfield, for seemingly going to the US without express approval from the president. And the thing is, Andrew Whitfield did request for permission to travel to the US as part of the DA delegation 10 days before the trip. And the president's office merely acknowledged receipt of the request, but never bothered to respond to it. And then 4 months later, in fact, as we speak, that email Andrew Whitfield sent to the president still hasn't been responded to. How unprofessional. So Andrew Whitfield took silence as consent and went to the US, and now he's been fired. I asked him last night on Face the Nation why he took silence from the president as consent, because ultimately he didn't have written permission, and he admitted that maybe that was wrong on his part. Are you allowed to travel, though, without express permission, without a written consent? Because at the end of the day, you didn't get the approval.
Well, I think that under the circumstances of the GNU, I think that it would be reasonable for the president to presume that there are new members of the executive, that perhaps there was a different way to handle this. But to answer your question more specifically, I felt very strongly that 10 days was more than reasonable, a period of time to receive a response. And the fact that there was no response, I simply took silence as consent. And perhaps that was an error in judgment on my part. But at the same time, I don't think that the sanction, which appears quite dramatic against the backdrop that you've painted of other members of the executive and the history, for me to be, I think, quite possibly, Clement, the only member of the executive that President Ramaphosa has ever removed from the executive, I'm not sure, it is quite a historic decision to make on this basis. I think there were other ways to deal with this.
Absolutely. There were other ways the president could have dealt with this. Now, you can fault Andrew Whitfield for going to that trip without the permission from the president, even though he requested for permission, but he wasn't responded to. But the president as well must be faulted for failing to respond to the email. I mean, how broken is the system? If he didn't want Andrew Whitfield to go to America, he could have just said, no, don't go. I mean, I've been sent emails yesterday from some ministers and deputies where they show that they requested permission from the president and their requests were responded to within days. So it's bizarre that this request was simply ignored. According to Whitfield, some in the ANC, believe it or not, are surprised by this decision by the president.
I have had some calls from some colleagues in the ANC who have been perplexed. They've been supportive. I've tried at all times to be as respectful as politics permits with colleagues. And, I think that there's a bit of confusion inside the ANC around this as well.
Wait, can you believe it? I was surprised there, in fact. I was very surprised. I said, did I hear you correctly that some in the ANC have been calling you to support you? Well, he says that's the case. Okay, so if the president has fired Andrew Whitfield because he went to the US without his permission, that's wild. And John Steenhuisen argued yesterday that there are double standards here, and I don't think he's wrong. How many ministers or deputies have done worse, and they were never touched? Some were just moved to other portfolios at best. What happened when Thembisa Melani, who was the justice minister, when she faced allegations of having received monies that flowed from VBS? She received a loan from a businessman who allegedly received kickbacks and benefited from the VBS looting. That same man is currently standing trial on corruption charges linked to the looting of VBS. Did the president fire her? No, he asked for a report and some explanation and then moved her to the Department of Human Settlement. You would have thought action was going to be taken against the Minister of Higher Education, Nobuhle Nkabani, over her embarrassing management, in fact, mismanagement of the SITA board appointment and her belligerent attitude towards Parliament. And she's been apologizing over and over again. She hasn't been touched by the president, and she's been an embarrassment. The president hasn't said anything about her. I can go on and on to mention other people in the president's cabinet who have done far worse, and they've never been touched. But then again, how serious is the DA about this ultimatum? What are they going to do? Walk away from the GNU? That's funny, because I have lost count of the DA's threats to walk away. And I hope I get proven wrong this time around. But there have been so many red lines where something happens, they say, this is the red line. If the president doesn't change, or if they don't drop this policy, or they don't give us these ministerial positions, we are walking away. They're still there in the GNU. But let's wait and see. Because I don't think the president will act on this ultimatum. I mean, some people are worried that if he does, he will appear weak and he will set a problematic precedent. What do you think? Give me a call or send me a WhatsApp voice note.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Mpo, you calling us from Diepkloof in Soweto. Good morning.
Hi, Clement. I hope you're well. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday.
Clement, I started listening to what was then Channel 702 when I was 15 years, way back in 1980.
Wow.
And I was in Moletsane, growing up in Moletsane. I remember at the time, there was a hoodie that was light blue in color, written Channel 702 with red and white colors.
Mm.
My friends could not understand what this was all about, because Channel 702 at the time was playing rock and pop music, which was not popular in the township.
Mm.
And I can tell you now, 45 years on, I still, when I drive to work, listen to 702.
Oh, wow.
And on Gratitude Friday, I just want to say, the other day when Bongani played Robert Marawa's clip about XG, I literally shed a tear, Clement. I shed a tear. That is my best song, and I'm just about to turn 60, and what I've gone through in life, I feel very, very blessed to still be alive.
Oh, that's amazing, Paul.
I feel very, very, very blessed.
You sound so young, I must say. Hey, for someone who's about to turn 60.
It's because I run.
Oh, yeah? Well, yeah, you really, I can almost imagine what you look like, but you sound so young. Mpo, thank you so much for your call, and thank you for your reflection, having listened to 702 for 45 years. I feel like they must do T-shirts for people who've been listening to us for long. Like, you know, like at Comrades, you know, there are people who get who get celebrated for running, you know, a particular number of comrades or whatever. And I think even equally so, yeah, people who've been listening to this show and for so long, I feel like they deserve some kind of recognition. Thank you for staying with us over the years. Tabiso, you're in Polokwane. What do you want to say about Andrew Whitfield?
Clement, there's a petty say, you know, where people just arrive at your doorstep and let's go. I think that's what Andrew Whitfield did to the president. 10 days, this person would have planned a trip, there's visas to be done and all of that. And in 10 days, he decided, oh, by the way, I need to write a letter to the president of the republic.
Oh, maybe the trip was decided 10 days ago.
No. You know, with Clement, you have been traveling all over the...
And you know the how I travel, Tabiso? I could get on a flight tomorrow.
Clement, United States, even yesterday, has announced that for you, if you want to go there now, you must not put your social media on private settings, because they are going to deny you a visa now. They are very clear in terms of their scrutiny and all of that. So now, this man was doing Chaparikowe, and it's unfair for this particular country and the president, because someone else will do it again and say, no, but there's a precedent in terms of what we have done through with the DA guy, because you are afraid of them. You know, once you allow, and there's also a precedent in this country. From 1995, it's only Jacob Zuma who did not act. I don't know, because there was no one who transgressed in terms of going without approval. Thabo Mbeki did it.
Yeah,
Mandela did it in 1995.
The context was very, very, very different, right? So I think that's very important.
I agree with you, but let me give you a proper context on those other two. You remember in 1995, Mandela would have not acted against Winnie Madikizela. Very popular at that time.
Yeah.
And secondly, in 2007...
But he told her, don't go. He told her, don't go. The difference... That's why I'm saying, Tabiso, let's not get...
but 10
because,
days.
Yes, but my worry is we're going to use the old examples, and the context was very different there. And it's very important for us to be contextual, right? This is very different, and I'm not saying this has never been done before. I'm just saying, where in the ministerial handbook does it say that you have to ask for permission within 30 days? Where? So it says, the manual says, at least 2 weeks. This man writes to the president 10 weeks before. The president acknowledges receipt. I have seen so far 4 emails where ministers, 3 of ministers, 1 of a deputy minister, where they ask the president for permission. The president responds within days. It doesn't make sense for the president to acknowledge receipt of your email and doesn't say, don't go. It's 4 months today. The president still hasn't responded to that email. I mean, come on, Tabiso, you can't justify that.
But what was the agenda also?
Then say no. Then say no. Then as a president. Then say no. As a president, then say, I am not allowing you to go.
But let's move it further, Clement. Let's move it further. Now it's an ultimatum to the president. And in fact, I was listening to Steinhazen yesterday when he was debating there, saying, no, there's this particular ministers who have done that and those and all of that. Therefore, the president must fire. Now we're going back to what we've spoken about some couple of months ago, when there was an issue of a budget, where DA said, no, but we have Bella Act. We have what? Why don't you reverse them if you want to us to support you on? Even if you check all those ministers, granted, was there any court of law that says this minister has been found guilty? Or 2, was there any way that, in terms of the Minister of Higher Education, for example, I have said it on this particular show to see. I said, no, even if you check the law, it is clear. It says that the power to appoint chairperson rests with her. Whether she appoints an independent panel or not, the parliament therefore needs to say, because we want to be able to help in this particular regard, like the SABC board, like any other board that goes to parliament. Let's pass the law.
Yeah, but she mustn't lie as well. She mustn't go to parliament and say, oh, I had an independent panel that helped me decide on these board chairpersons' names.
Well, independence is relative, Clement.
But okay, so next time,
you saw the statement by EFF saying the board members of IDC and all of that. So it's accountability, but in relative independence.
Come on. So,
Friday.
Thank you. I got you. Thank you for your thoughts, Tabiso in Polokwane. Let's hear what the other listeners think. It's 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. Mario, Lundu, Elton, I see you. I'll come to you after this.
Travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabocha, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
9:33, this is the 702 open line. Let's go to your WhatsApps.
Hi, 702. I just wanted to say, in 1994, 702 took a group of people to Mauritius. It was, I think, their 15th birthday. It was a lot of fun, and we were all very tired from the election. I think they should do something like that again sometime.
Hi, good morning, Clement. It's Pat here from Sprayview. 702, happy birthday, 702. We came a long way. 702, we used to have membership, what you call cards, okay? And every month we used to receive those 702 magazines. So those days we used to listen to Kaki Tubul, Kakalemaje, Chris Gibbons, Jenny, the late John Babs, So until today, So happy birthday, 702.
Yeah, happy birthday to Talk Radio 702. As I said earlier, tomorrow we are turning 45. Radio 702 is turning 45. And as I said, 702 is the bedrock for which Prime Media is a bigger business stand. So really proud to be part of the station. I'm sure from what you've said also so far, you've really enjoyed being part of the journey and being part of the 702 family. It's 25 minutes now before 10.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
So the suspended Road Accident Fund CEO, Collins Letswalo, has lost his bid to be reinstated from suspension. This judgment came quite late last night. The Gauteng High Court, Judge Graham Mushwana, ruled that the Road Accident Fund Board's decision to suspend Letswalo is lawful and rational. So Letswalo has now failed to even put up any evidence to the contrary. What he also wanted the court to do is to interdict the board from going ahead with appointing a new CEO. And the court has declined to interdict the process of recruiting a new CEO. So I had Collins Letswalo on Face the Nation last night, and he said whether he wins or loses this court case, he will apply for the job because, listen to this, he's the best in the world to do it. Here's what he said in his own words. What's your next plan? If they're going to continue with this fight through, if they do make an advertisement for your post and they find another CEO, what's your next plan?
What is the other CEO going to do? Does it mean I can't apply? I'm going to apply.
You're going to apply?
I know this thing very well, Clement. There is no one in South Africa and globally, by the way, that can do this thing better than me. I believe that.
So that's what he said. Nobody globally can do this like I do. Didn't Claudio Mutswaneng must have said something similar. He really reminds me of Claudio Mutswaneng. Remember what Claudio used to say about himself?
I lecture at the universities. I wonder how many people who are saying I'm uneducated. Even at the West Business School. I lecture, and my lectures about leadership, they have turned them as part of their syllabus. Who said I'm uneducated, chairperson?
By the way, that's a big lie. He doesn't lecture at vets. they've turned some of his material and lectures as syllabus. Vets did respond back then in 2019 that it's not true that he lectures there. He was just part of a breakfast panel discussion, and at no stage did he lecture at Vets or that the material that he authored was used as part of the curriculum. So that was a big lie. But yeah, these are people who I don't know if there's an English translation to that. But people who think so highly of themselves that only them in the whole world can do what they do. Didn't Gayton Mackenzie also say something similar?
We'll rate ourselves very high. I'll rate myself 12 out of 10. Né? But the people are happy. Haven't you seen we are winning in sports? Have you not seen? The Springboks are winning. The cricket team is winning. We have the strongest men. We're even winning in sheep shearing. There was Vernon Allison. We are a winning nation. I remember there was a time when they said we are a bunch of losers. Now we are a bunch of winners. You know, every day, when you open your Facebook, we are winning. Because you have a Vavavu minister that helps inspire. Even Bafana's winning.
The Vavavu minister, that's how he describes himself. Yo, Dimense. Back to phone straight. It's 22 before 10.
Travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabotja, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
18 minutes before 10 o'clock. Oscar, you calling us from Randfontein. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Yes, Clement. I just want to say happy birthday to 702 and just share a bit of my history and experience with 702. I used to listen to 702 right from the beginning. When I was a young boy, that's the only station my father listened to. So I grew up listening to 702. And over the years, as I became a professional, I started working at Johannesburg City Park. And I was a spokesperson for City Park, so I became a regular on 702. I was the one that used to get all the tough calls from John Robbie and interviews on radio on the John Robbie Show. So I have a lot of experience and fond memories with 702.
That's
we also used to host quite a number of events with 702 when we had park developments and park launches across the city of Johannesburg. We used to have 702 broadcasting from there. I remember one very fondly where we hosted Jody Scheckter, the ex-Formula One driver in Soweto, with Winnie Mandela. We had tree planting. It was quite a good relationship we had with 702.
Wow, that's amazing, Oscar.
And I have very fond memories. The interviews with John Robbie were not always easy. They were tough, but they were fair. I appreciated it because John Robbie kept us on our toes. Residents used to phone the station to complain about all sorts of things in parks, and I was usually the one who had to answer those questions.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oscar in Randfontein, thank you so much for your call. Stanley, you are also in Randfontein. What are your thoughts on what's happening with the DA now and the president?
Happy birthday.
Sure.
Mr. Manyathela.
Sure.
I think we are somewhat emotionally charged for this chopping of Minister Andrew. First of all, my thinking tells me somewhere, somehow, Mr. Andrew was insubordinate. So the president had to use his prerogative right to exercise in order to chop him out. But when it comes to Simelane and Ngabane, I think the Simelane case, it's not yet finalized. I'm speaking under correction. Now, in order to avoid any conflict of interest, Simelane had to be moved from the Justice Ministry to somewhere else, right? Allowing that process to go on unhinged. Then to Mrs. Nkabani, the case is still ongoing. Surely we can't be moving around, chopping people without concrete evidence. That's my thinking. And given the president's attitude towards these things, he normally takes some time analyzing and doing all that is necessary before he can act. So with Minister Andrew, I don't think it's for the first time he's doing whatever that he did. But let's wait and see. We'll hear what are the causes.
Who else did he fire
this.
without giving them an opportunity to explain themselves?
Who else was supposed to be fired, Mr. Manyathela?
Actually, you're saying you don't think he's done it for the first time?
No, I'm saying with the president, he exercises, he is not reactive per se. He looks at the matters, the merits, and he acts. But if the merits or whatever, it's unjustifiable for him to act, he doesn't act.
But before, I
And
can understand
we
it.
give
Before,
him
what
that
he's done is
space?
he's given people an opportunity to explain themselves. Why
Like
wasn't
who?
this person like Tembing Kadimeng? He said, "Please give me a report of what's happening here. I'm worried about these allegations." He said to the Minister of Higher Education, "I'm worried about this. What's going on?" I mean, these are just recent ones. There are other examples in the past where the president, when there are allegations or something happens, he says, "Hey, here's an opportunity for you to come explain yourself. Why wasn't this deputy minister given a chance?"
Let's take case by case. Nkadimeng, he submitted a report. She submitted a report, isn't it? But did the court rule otherwise? Or is the matter sitting in any court? Because this is just an allegation.
Yeah, the matter is still, we don't know if she's going to be charged. Nobody knows. The Hawks are still yet to decide. But the man who gave her that money is currently standing trial for corruption, for fraud.
Yes, Clement, but what's the norm? You are presumed innocent until
Absolutely. I'm not suggesting
but now,
the president...
if we're going to be excited, emotional, that the president must act. The president must act. If it suits us, he must act. But if it doesn't, even if it's going to act, we are preempting the outcome to say if he acts, we want him to.
No, we're not saying he must act. Just fire. I'm asking about an opportunity to explain yourself. You are saying that matters are still ongoing, right? I'm saying he's given people an opportunity before to say,
to explain
I'm unhappy about what you've done. Or there are these allegations. Please come explain yourself. Why hasn't he done it with this deputy minister?
Hence, I'm saying Mr. Manyathela indicated earlier to say, we don't know what's the gist of the whole thing. We're only having a superficial knowledge of, the president chopped Mr. Andrew, whatever. But what are the causes? Given the president's nature, I shudder to think that it was just the trip and that's it.
Then why is he not explaining that even
it
at
will
least
come
to the day?
that. Given what is happening in the country now, and given what is at stake between the DA and the ANC, he will be propelled to explain.
I don't think so. Okay, let's say this then. Let's work on this now, right? Because this is the best scenario ever. Even people in the ANC will tell you that the president axed this deputy minister because he went to the US without permission. Do you agree, though, that if the president has fired this man for going to the US without his express permission, even though this guy asked for it and the president ignored him, do you agree, though, that it's unfair that he acts on him without giving him an opportunity to explain himself when he's done it with other ministers from the ANC?
Well, I'm tempted to say yes, but before I say that, Clement, do you or anybody else know what was the explanation given?
Wait. No, Stanley. Wait. I'm just saying, we don't know. We said we don't know the reasons.
We don't know.
I'm saying hypothetically. Yes. And I'm saying from what we know, even from speaking to people in the presidency, this is actually the issue. So hypothetically, If this is the reason the president has fired this man, do you accept that it's unfair because the president has dealt with matters differently before?
If that is the case, Clement, I am prepared to say, yes, this is very, very much unfair.
Okay, then let's wait and see. If the president then comes with some kind of a reason other than this, then let's have another conversation. But I'm glad we agree that if this is the very reason why the president fired this man, then it's completely unfair and riddled with double standards. 9 minutes before 10.
Travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabocha, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
7 minutes before 10 o'clock. Okay, so in the East End, thanks for your patience. Good morning.
Yeah, morning, Clement.
Sure.
I hope you're well.
I'm good. Go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to say happy birthday to 702. I've been a diehard listener since the days of John Kwelani, and I've always done 702 of the talks. And I used to listen to you say this a lot. And then now, obviously, I love your show. I think you're doing a stellar job.
Thank you.
So continue with the good work.
But are you coming to the Walk the Talk this year?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I register every year.
I'll see you there.
I'm doing it this year. Yes, I'm doing it with my best friends. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I just wanted to say, I'll see you there, Clement. Definitely, I'll come up to you if I see you. I wanted to say, you know what? I think Cyril Ramaphosa did a good thing by firing this deputy minister. He shouldn't have been hired in the first place because economic transformation is a very critical agenda for the ANC. And allowing a DA minister to be a deputy minister when the DA has spoken out at every turn against transformation was actually really nonsensical in the first place. You know, the guy shouldn't have been appointed. So firing him is a good thing. And I think Pakstau has actually what it takes, because he did a very good job in Joburg. He has what it takes to be one of the potential guys that replaces Ramaphosa as the president of the ANC. I really, really think he's a good leader, and he's on the right way in terms of the DTIC. So perhaps maybe he also felt he needed a stronger deputy minister who's on the same page in terms of economic transformation. You know, where we really need to change the demographic, Clement, of the people who are the business owners in this country. You know, a lot of politicians always campaign and say people want jobs. Not everyone wants jobs. Some African people actually want to be business owners and own the means of production. So the DTIC is such a critical economic ministry that can unlock that and enable that to happen.
Okay, so in the East End, thank you for that. And in fact, John Steenhuisen believes that perhaps part of the reason that this man is being fired is that he's ruffled some feathers in the department. He suggested that this may have something to do with the questions that Andrew Whitfield has been asking about the Transformation Fund, about the controversial lotteries contract as well.
Clement, the relationship between DA and ANC, it's complicated, the young ones would say. And also, if your boss doesn't give you permission to say you can go ahead, go there or take leave or whatever, why did you go? Why did you go? And furthermore, why is the DA jumping around like kids? Why are they throwing tantrums? Didn't they go and vote against the ANC on the budget and whatnot? Why are they now wanting to throw tantrums? Mara DA by actor though.
Clement, the DA overplayed their hand. They shouldn't have made threats. There's nothing they're going to do. They're not about to leave the GNU. They're not about to name any scandal. Because even if they were to name a scandal, the first question the rest of us are going to ask is, you've been sitting there for a year, you knew about X and you didn't say anything. Surely it means you prefer to be called minister than to serve the public. So I think this was ill-advised, and they've taken it a little bit too far, because what they've done, they lose either way. They're going to lose voters. They're going to bleed voters either way. Because either they walk from the GNU and Cyril doesn't capitulate, or they stay put. Either way. if I was a party like FF Plus, I'd be printing out some new membership forms. This was a very, very, very silly move.
Yeah, it's very tricky because if the president responds to the ultimatum and fires some of the ministers within the next 48 hours, what kind of a president does that make him? Like, is it a weak president who's just going to be given ultimatums left, right, center? Does it not make him weak? Does that not set a precedent, which may be problematic down the line? But also, at the same time, the DA took a risk by also giving an ultimatum and threatening severe consequences if the president doesn't act. Because if the president doesn't act over the next 48 hours and they still stay in the GNU, and then they're going to come to you and say, no, we're putting South Africans first, then we're never going to take them seriously whenever they talk about red lines and ultimatums. So I'm looking forward to seeing if the DA really means it this time around when they say severe consequences. And I'm looking forward to seeing if the president will move based on this ultimatum and what that will mean for the future of this GNU.